Assalamu alaikum. How are you, dear students? I hope you all are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Dear students, welcome back to our BGS online class. This class is arranged by Shamsulakan School and College, English version. Today I'm here with you. I'm Abdul Mannan, Assistant Teacher, Bangladesh Global Studies, English version, and the Shamsulakan School and College. Today, I will take a class of class 6 on Bangladesh Global Studies. Dear students, already you have completed your second semester exam. Today is the first class of third semester. So, today, I will take a first class of Bangladesh Global Studies. This is the Bangladesh Global Studies class. This is the first class of third semester. At first, I will talk about your syllabus, third semester syllabus. You see in the screen your third semester syllabus. Third semester, there are total 4 chapters. Chapter 6, Culture of Bangladesh. Chapter 8, Bangladesh and her citizens. Chapter 10, Rights of Children in Bangladesh. And chapter 11, Children's Growing Up and Its Obstacles in Bangladesh. This 4th chapter, your third semester syllabus. Okay, one by one, we will talk about and we will complete total 4th chapter. Today, I will talk about chapter 6. Okay, about today's chapter 6, Culture of Bangladesh. So everyone, take your book and go to chapter 6. Your students, take your BGS book and go to chapter 6. Okay, about today's discussion topic. Today's topics, introduction of the chapter. At first, I will talk about introduction of the chapter. Then lesson 1, concept of culture, and lesson 2, elements of Bangladeshi culture. Okay, these are our today's discussion topic, introduction of the chapter, lesson 1 and lesson 2. Okay, everyone, go to the chapter 6. Now let's start. Chapter 6, Culture of Bangladesh. This is your book reading, you see in the slide. So take point to your book, listen carefully, and try to understand. Chapter 6, Culture of Bangladesh. Since the dawn of civilization, man has satisfied his demand using nature and environment. From the very beginning of civilization, man has satisfied his demand using nature and environment. Men use nature and environment for fulfilling his demands. Okay? A piece of a stone or a branch of a tree became the tool to save him from the attack of ferocious animals. Okay? Human beings save themselves. They use stone, branch of tree. Why? From the attack of ferocious animals. To save him from the attack of ferocious animals. Okay? I mean wild animals. Hence, the ability to utilize nature has endowed man with culture, which is still continuous. Okay? Ability to utilize nature. To utilize nature, man has achieved ability. Man has achieved this ability to utilize the nature, and this ability and this utilization of the nature is continued still now. Men realize that the struggle for survival would be stronger if he lived in society. Okay, once upon a time, men realized that is, if he form a society, then it will be stronger for their survival. So men realized that his struggle for survival would be stronger if he lived in society, if he formed society. So, for this reason, various rules were created in order to organize the society. You see, so they have created various rules. Why? In order to organize, in order to form the society. Gradually, it turned into economics, politics, religion, education, etc. That rules and regulations turned. Why? Turned into economics, politics, religion, education, etc. For the amusement, recreation, and welfare. Not only that the rules, but also for their amusement, recreation, and welfare of the people of the society, men created dance, song, literature, and many other things. Okay, for their recreation, they have also created dance, song, literature, and many other things. As a result, concrete and abstract shapes of culture were composed. Two types of culture, two shapes of culture, as a result, has created or were created, one concrete shape, another abstract shape. Okay, dear students, this is the introduction of the chapter. So if you read this introduction, you can find out some points. The points is that from the beginning, very beginning of the civilization, men use nature and environment for their fulfilling demands. Okay, and they use stone and branch of tree. Why? To save themselves from the attack of ferocious animals. Okay, then once upon a time, men realized that they should form society. If they form society, then it will stronger. It will be stronger for them. So they have created some rules and regulations for forming society. And that rules and regulations gradually turn into economics, politics, religion, education. Next time, these rules and regulations turn economics, politics, religion, education. Not only that, they also created song, dance, literature, and many other things. Why? For their recreation, for their amusement, and for the welfare of the people of the society. As a result, two shapes of culture has created. One is abstract shape, another is concrete shape. Okay? This is the introduction of the chapter. The next one you see some pictures which are related with culture. One is the Poela Boishakh celebration. This is the pottery, and this is the celebration of festival. You see three pictures. And after completing this chapter, you will be able to explain some points. What? Explain the concept of culture. You will be able to explain the elements of Bangladeshi culture. You can explain the elements of Bangladeshi culture. You can also explain the form and feature of Bangladeshi culture. What is the form and features of Bangladeshi culture? You can explain. You can explain the type of Bangladeshi culture after completing this chapter. Okay, and analyze the effect of Bangladeshi culture on the personal and social life of Bangladesh. You can explain Bangladeshi culture on the personal and social life of Bangladesh. You can explain these points also. And last one, retain and nurture own culture. You can explain how to retain and how to nurture our own culture. Okay, after completing this chapter, you can explain these points. Okay. Okay, dear students, now go to lesson 1. You see in the slide, lesson 1, concept of culture. So listen carefully, please, and try to understand. Concept of culture, lesson 1. Culture is actually the lifestyle of people. This is the short definition of culture. Culture is actually the lifestyle of people. Picture of human life is revealed through culture. Okay, human life picture revealed, is shown by the culture. All a man does and thinks to preserve his existence and to serve some purpose are his culture. Human being activities, their thinking, their existence, their service, some purpose are their culture. Okay, for example, you'll understand easily if you read this example. For example, man eats food to live. Human being eats food to live. When this food is cooked following various recipe and served with nice decoration, it becomes man's culture. Okay, this is their activities. How to make food. So men eat food, and the process of eating food, I mean the process of food and their recipe and their service system, decoration, this it becomes man culture. Okay, when men learn to write, first he wrote carving on a stone or on bark or leaves of trees. Okay, at first, I mean ancient time, when men learn to write, at first they write on a stone, on bark. Bark, that means the feather of the various types of animals and the leaves of trees. At first they write. Then, when paper was invented, men began writing with feather sinking ink. Okay, feather with ink, men write with feather. Okay, gradually men invented paper and started writing on paper by the pen. When men invented paper and pen, then they started to write on paper by pen. After that, men invented typewriter and started writing with typewriter. Finally, the latest, men invented computer. So now many people of the world write with computer. Latest. Now many people of the world they write with computer. So what is this? These are all part of the culture. These are all part of the culture. The total of all these forms of writing, the total of all these forms of writing invented by man is a part of culture. Okay? These are all the part of the culture of human being, culture of the man. Okay, this is the concept of culture. And the next you see, the culture is of two types. How many types? Two types. One is concrete and other is abstract. Culture is of two types. One is concrete and other is abstract culture. You know, there are two types of culture. One is concrete culture and other is abstract culture. And what is concrete culture? What is abstract culture? You can ask me. Concrete culture, which you can touch and you can see. This is the concrete culture. You can touch it, you can see it. Suppose house, building, furniture, hospital, school, college. This is the concrete culture. An abstract culture, you cannot touch it, you cannot see it, just feel. Suppose knowledge, values, idea. They are the abstract culture. Okay. So you see in here, there are two types of culture. One is concrete, another is abstract. If the house is a concrete culture, its plan will be an abstract culture. House concrete culture and its plan will be an abstract culture. If a book is concrete culture, the thoughts and ideas with which the writer wrote it will be an abstract culture. Book concrete culture, the example of concrete culture, book, but for writing this book, the thoughts, the idea of the writer, they are the abstract culture. Computer hardware, this is a concrete culture, but the software for using computer is an abstract culture. You can touch it, hardware, you can see it, but software you cannot touch it. So hardware is the concrete culture and software is the abstract culture. Okay, this is the task. You see, the way of our life is our culture. Already we have discussed. The way of our life is our culture. Short definition. The next slide. Lesson 2, elements of Bangladeshi culture. Okay, lesson 1 complete. Now lesson 2. So please listen carefully. Elements of Bangladeshi culture. We can see some elements of Bangladeshi culture. We can see some elements of Bangladeshi culture with our eyes. Hold them with hands. With our eyes, with our hand. We can see, we can touch it. Some elements of Bangladeshi culture. Again, we can neither see nor touch many elements of culture of this country. I mean, that is the elements of abstract culture. For example, we can see the house or houses built by the people of Bangladesh, but we don't see the knowledge and skill of building them. We can see house, a building, but we cannot see knowledge and skill for building house. So house is the example of concrete culture, I mean elements of concrete culture, and knowledge and skill. This is the elements of abstract culture. From this consideration, the elements of Bangladeshi culture can also be divided two kinds. Culture also two types, concrete and abstract, and elements of culture also two types. Okay, one is concrete, another is abstract. Concrete elements, abstract elements. Concrete visible and abstract invisible. You know. Okay. The next you see. So concrete elements of the culture of this country are various kinds of houses, furniture, dress, transport, food, farming tools, and books. They are the elements of concrete culture. House, furniture, dress, transport, food, farming tools, and books. Abstract elements of our culture are collective knowledge, you see, collective knowledge, outlook and attitude, religious belief, and sense of morality, language, alphabets, arts, literature, music, ideals, and values, various branches of knowledge and science. These are the elements of abstract culture. Okay? Collective knowledge, outlook and attitude, religious belief, sense of morality, language, alphabets, arts, literature, music, ideals, and values, various branches of knowledge and science, etc. These are the elements of abstract culture. Okay, the people of our country created has concrete elements of culture. Why? For their own necessity. For their own necessity, the people of our country, they have created the elements of concrete culture. These elements can last for hundreds of years. You can see this 100 years ago's concrete elements of culture. Not only 100 years, 1000 years ago's elements of concrete culture you can see. If you go to the museum, for example, when we visit the museum, we see many things which are 100 years old. We see many things which are 1000, 2000 years old. Okay? Seeing this, we can form a concept about man and culture of Bangladesh at that time, at 1000 years ago's time. We can see and we can form a concept about their culture. We can form a concept about their thing, about their lifestyle, about their culture. Okay? So the next you see, the concrete and abstract elements of our culture are in no way isolated from each other. You cannot isolate it from each other, from abstract culture to element concrete culture, or from concrete culture to abstract culture. You cannot isolate, you cannot differentiate. It's because why? We get the identity of abstract elements through the concrete elements. Okay? We can find out the abstract elements through the concrete elements, or we can find out the concrete elements through the abstract elements. For this reason, you cannot isolate it from one another. You cannot isolate it from each other. For instance, Nokshikata. For example, Nokshikata is a concrete element of Bangladeshi culture. Nokshikata, you know, is the concrete elements of Bangladeshi culture. When flower leaf, elephant horse, or any scenery is embroidered in it, in the Nokshikata, then it becomes the manifestation of thoughts of women folk of this country. Okay? Women of our country, they embroidered on Nokshikata various types of flower, elephant, horse, or the various types of beautiful scenery they embodied on the Nokshikata. Then it will prove that the manifestation of thoughts of women folk of this country. It will prove that change in one element of Bangladeshi culture bring about change in other elements. Okay. Now another thing is culture is not static; it's changeable. Culture is not static. Okay, age to age, year to year, I mean century to century, it's changeable. It's change. It's not static. So if one element is changed, then it brings change another elements, other elements. Okay, change in one elements of Bangladeshi culture bring about the change of one elements of one elements of other culture. Okay, for example, you see, shari is an element of culture in Bangladesh. Shari, in our country, women they wear the shari. You know, the shari is an element of culture in Bangladesh. Due to technological change, there have been changes in color and design of shari. Various types of colorful and design shari now you see. Why? For the technological development, for technological change. So change is noticed in the fashion of wearing shari as well. So it's proved that the culture is not static, it's changing. Okay, change is noticed that in the fashion of wearing shari as well. Okay, dear students, this is the lesson 2. So today we have talked about lesson 1 and lesson 2 and the introduction of the chapter. Okay, dear students, now I have given some homework for you. At first you'll read this introduction and lesson 1 and 2. Then after completing reading this, you will prepare this SW. Okay, you see your homework in the slide. I have given 5 questions. You will complete and you will get this. You will get answer of this question in the reading. I mean lesson 1, lesson 2, and introduction. What is culture? First question. The second question: how many types of culture and what are they? Okay, already I have talked about it. Number 3: what is abstract culture and what is concrete culture? Already I have talked about it. If you read lesson 1 and 2 easily you can write this answer of this question. Number 4: what are the elements of abstract and concrete culture? Elements of abstract culture and elements of concrete culture. Okay, talk about already. And number 5: what are the elements of Bangladeshi culture? What are the elements of Bangladeshi culture? You'll write one by one the elements of Bangladeshi culture. 2 types of elements, you know, the abstract elements and concrete elements. So one by one you'll write the elements of Bangladeshi culture. Okay, at first you'll read introduction, lesson 1, lesson 2 of chapter 6. Then you will write answer of this question. Okay, dear students. Okay, it's all for today. Thank you all.